system.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is
Howard J. Dingers. And this is 3 Count Review.
welcome to Monday Night Raw.
Monday Night Raw edition. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Howard J. Diggers, and welcome to 3 Count Review, the Monday Night Raw review. This is all presented by First Round KO. And yeah, I'm back. I'm back. This is the first show of the semester. I'm excited. I got a new time. It's not the day after at 5 or 4 o'clock, whatever it was. Now it's right after. Monday Night Raw just got off the air. It's going to be the same for SmackDown tomorrow, where it's going to be at 10. It's not going to be right after at 9. I wanted to make them at the same time. So both review shows are going to be the same night that that the shows happen. So Monday Night Raw right after the show at 10. And on Tuesdays, it's going to be at 10 o'clock. Gives me time. I might even watch 205 Live and include that in the review. So that's how that's going to work. So without further ado, let's dive into this actually amazing Monday Night Raw show. It was incredible. I had a lot of fun watching it. And I'm going to start, actually. I'm not going to go in order. I'm going to have this. Well, I am going to go in order eventually, but I'm going to start with the biggest story coming out of this, and then I'll go back and we'll go in order through everything. But the biggest story coming out of this show, Becky Lynch officially challenged Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship at WrestleMania. Now, I think we all knew that this was going to happen. I think we all expected her to challenge Ronda. But she made it official. She came out after Ronda had a match with Bayley, and she came out and she challenged her. They exchanged words, and it was incredible. The crowd, before Becky even came out, so Ronda had a open challenge, and the crowd was chanting for Becky the entire time. It was incredible. They just wanted, and even when Bayley came out, the crowd booed Bayley a little bit. But then, they realized they weren't getting Becky, so they started cheering for Bayley. They were booing Ronda and cheering Bayley the entire match. Well, Ronda ended up winning the match. Obviously, she's still your Raw Women's Champion. And after the match, Becky's music hit, and the place went crazy. It was incredible. She came out, and she, again, just cut an amazing promo on Ronda. Ronda started talking, and the place went nuclear. The heat was incredible on Ronda. Just a constant sea of boos. Like, you could you could see the mouthing. I saw it live. She said, "What do I do?" And Becky just said, "Just start talking." And she did. And the place did not stop booing the entire time she was talking. It was awesome. And the promos were actually good. Here's the thing. Obviously, Becky's promo was amazing. But Ronda's promo was actually really good. I thoroughly enjoyed it. And if you haven't seen it, go back and watch it. It was very good. But, the premise of the promos were, hey, I'm going to beat you at WrestleMania. But they were really good. They had context from their past. Obviously, it was so good. It's just incredible, and I cannot wait. Even the commentators said, can WrestleMania be tomorrow? And I wouldn't even mind that, because I cannot wait for this match, and I would not be surprised if this match main evented WrestleMania, even if it stays one-on-one. If it doesn't stay one-on-one, and if Charlotte works her way in and that becomes a triple threat, I still think it's main event, but I think this just one-on-one, I think it's a main event. And that's how I think it should be, but we'll see what WWE wants to do. But without further ado, let's get to the full show recap. We had Seth Rollins opening the show. They announced him as the winner of the 2019 Royal Rumble, and he received a big reaction and burn it down chants. Last week, he said he would win the Rumble because of heart, and now he can stand there and say that he is going to be the main event of WrestleMania, and the crowd chanted, "You deserve it." Rollins, he just cut a promo, and he said, I don't know. He said he could challenge a friend of his in Daniel Bryan, which was booed, or he could go to Suplex City and face Brock Lesnar. The crowd chanted, "Take his belt," and Rollins said it would take some time to make a decision. Triple H came out then to a very positive reaction in an NXT chant. He said he pushed Rollins to the he pushed Rollins to bring back the old Rollins and stepped up to the challenge. Triple H also got emotional, as Seth did earlier while cutting these promos, and blamed Rollins because he got emotional earlier. He put over Rollins' win and told him that he had a decision to make. He mentioned Becky needed to make the same decision, but he said that she would do that tomorrow, as we know already that didn't happen. But he told Rollins that he has until the end of the night to make the decision. This brought out Dean Ambrose. Ambrose called their father-son thing cute, which makes him sick. Ambrose recalled being on the road with Rollins, talking about how Triple H wanted to get rid of Rollins and how they wanted to take over WWE, and Triple H tried to get in their way. Triple H belittled him for trying to play the brother card, considering what he did the night Roman Reigns announced his leukemia. Ambrose told him this didn't concern him, and Triple H told him everything around here concerns him. Ambrose called Rollins a suck-up. At one point, Triple H and Ambrose got in each other's face. It was awesome. Ambrose hoped Rollins did beat Lesnar or Bryan, but Rollins has never been able to beat him, as in Ambrose, without help. He said, without the help of Corporate Kane, Jade, and Safe Security. It was good to bring up that. That was fun. That was a fun callback. Ambrose told Triple H to put him in a match with Rollins right now. Triple H was about to leave. Ambrose got in his face and asked if he needed permission from his father-in-law. The crowd chanted, "Yes, he does," and Triple H called for a referee. Ambrose was amazing. Ambrose was really good here. I enjoyed this segment so much. It did a lot. I don't know, because this rivalry between these two fell very flat. This segment was almost better than any of that, honestly. And, so I just very much enjoyed this opening segment. So then we got the actual Seth versus Dean match, and it was a pretty good match. It went through one commercial, and towards the end, curb stomp to Ambrose, which Ambrose oversold, and it looked awesome. It was really funny. He got curb stomped, stood back up, and then fell backwards. Super funny. And then Rollins won. Yeah, Rollins got the 1, 2, 3 after that. So, just to put over Rollins more, I'm not sure where this leaves Ambrose, especially because of what happened later. They came back from a break after the match, and Ambrose was still sitting in the ring on a chair, and he claimed he had something serious to say and asked the fans not to be jerks. He mentioned signing with the WWE, but before he could continue, Nia Jax and Tamina interrupted. Jax got in Ambrose's face. They chirped at each other for a little bit until Ambrose turned his attention to Tamina. Jax clocked him from behind, and Ambrose fell out of the ring. A million referees were at ringside to hold him back, but the crowd were chanting, "Let him fight." Or let them fight, I should say. And then Alexa and Mickey came out as Ambrose left. So I don't know what they're doing with Ambrose. I don't know. I think this was just another little tease like they did last night with Nia. That's what I would have to guess. As far as intergender fighting in WWE, maybe they're teasing it even more because maybe they're going to do some more of it. I'm not sure. But I don't know. I was a little disappointed, because my thought process after the Royal Rumble was that Aleister Black was going to debut on Monday Night Raw. get his NXT call up, and I thought it would be perfect for Ambrose to call him out. So when it came back from commercial and Ambrose was still in the ring, I really thought either he was going to call out Black or Black was just going to come out. And that didn't happen. I was pretty disappointed in that. I thought that would have been a great, because Black eliminated Ambrose in the Rumble, so I thought that would have been a good chance for that to happen. But they obviously have different plans. All right, so after all of that, we have Nia and Tamina defeating Alexa Bliss and Mickie James in a tag match. This was an Elimination Chamber Women's Tag Team Championship qualifying match. That's a mouthful. This was good. It was good to see Alexa Bliss back. The crowd was very, very happy to see her back. They were very behind her. I mean, nothing too special. They worked. Both of the Nia and Tamina both worked over Mickie and Alexa the entire match, just because it was bigger women going against smaller women. And that's just how they work the match. So Jax won with a double Samoan drop, which actually looked impressive. So, yeah, they qualify for the chamber match. Cool. Then we had Baron Corbin defeating Kurt Angle. This was weird. When I saw this, I figured this would be a good spot. When this was announced, I'm really at a loss for words right now. I thought that Kurt Angle was going to win this, and that they would continue with him trying to get back control of Monday, or at least find a WrestleMania opponent. But he just lost. He lost to Corbin, and that's the thing that I think is getting to me. Why did you need to give Corbin this win? First of all, Corbin won off of the deep six. He got the pin after a deep six. Meanwhile, Angle hit Corbin with an Olympic slam. Corbin kicked out, and he got out of the ankle lock. But then this buried Angle. I really don't understand the point. First of all, he lasted like 4 minutes in the Rumble yesterday. And then you do a 4-minute match where he loses to Baron Corbin. I just don't understand what they're doing with Kurt Angle right now. I thought it was very, very unnecessary. So yeah, then the Corbin went back in the ring and hit him with an end of days. It was terrible. Then we had Finn Balor shown walking gingerly backstage. He was greeted by Heath Slater, Apollo Crews, Rhino, Sasha Banks, Bayley, and Heavy Machinery as Otis Dozovich was pumping his fist and gyrating, in the words of Bryan Alvarez. Oh, man. So, yeah, then we had Finn Balor come out to the ring, and he basically just cut a promo, and he said, he went toe-to-toe with Lesnar for 10 minutes, but he has no excuse. Lesnar beat him. Lesnar beat him again because of what happened after the match. He said he's never seen power and speed like that before, and now he's hurt, but Balor said he could hold his head up high. He said Lesnar attacked him after the match because he made Lesnar believe. And this brought out my man, Bobby Lashley and Lio Rush. Sorry, reading through these notes. Rush said it was a disgrace that a twerp like Balor got a title shot in the first place, but Rush said that Balor almost beat Lesnar, but he couldn't stand a chance against Lashley. He's already beaten Lashley. That's a real whatever. I don't think WWE remembers what they do, past 2 weeks ago, so it's whatever. Rush said Lashley was bigger, stronger, and faster than Lesnar. I don't believe that for a second. Balor brought up Lashley only lasting a few seconds in the Rumble, so Lashley attacked him and left him laying with 3 huge spine busters, like the one-handed spine busters where you have him up by the gut and it's so cool. I love it. It's actually a great-looking move. Rush took off his Lashley t-shirt and draped it over Balor. This was good, but it was the second straight segment with a heel leaving a babyface laying, so just spread that out. Like, otherwise, because you just get numb to seeing it, and then the second one will have no impact. Like, this one could have been more impactful if we hadn't just seen it in the segment before. So then we had the Revival beating Zack Ryder and Curt Hawkins because, of course, when and if they ever do this Curt Hawkins breaking his losing streak thing, it's going to be at a big show, and it's going to be in a somewhat decent match, I think. So, of course he was going to lose here. Good for the Revival. I'm not really sure where this is going to lead to. I really think that this is just punishing the Revival. Charlie Caruso caught up with Daniel Bryan and Erick Rowan. They were there because obviously Seth Rollins has to make his decision, so Triple H wanted them to be there. Bryan has a black eye, but he said he would have beaten AJ no matter what, even if Erick wasn't there last night. And he said Rollins promotes air pollution and wanton destruction every time he says burn it down. It was Wanton production. Sorry. It sounded like Wonton, but I remember him saying Wonton, but it's Wanton. But yeah, it's the burn it down air pollution. It was really clever by Bryan. Bryan said he would end Rollins' WrestleMania's hopes tonight. Ooh. So then we had Elias out. This was really strange. Elias said he gave the fans a chance, but was disappointed in them. So basically, Elias is heel again. His promo consisted of him saying, I gave you guys a chance. I was making songs for you. I was on your side, but you guys ruined it. You weren't, you should have been giving me standing ovations before I was even out there, blah, blah, blah. But now he said it's too late. But then the crowd started chanting, we're not worthy, which was amazing. He said, no, you're right. You're not worthy. He said he couldn't believe he wrote songs for them at one point, but now his songs are just for him. Elias was about to perform. He did do his normal heel shtick. He went back to it where he said, silence your cell phones, but most importantly, shut your mouth. But Jeff Jarrett came back because apparently he's still in Phoenix. Fully clothed this time, it says. Yeah, his outfit at the Rumble yesterday was interesting. Jarrett called him slapnuts, and Jarrett said Elias had a problem spelling out his name as the crowd's... Oh, Jarrett said Elias had a problem, and then he spelled out his name as the crowd sang along. That was confusing. Sorry. And then Road Dogg came out and joined him, and Road Dogg got a huge pop. Like, when that, oh, you didn't know hit, crowd went pretty crazy. And Road Dogg was wearing a Becky Lynch The Man shirt. Awesome. That was pretty cool. Sorry, I dropped something. Okay. He said if Elias only wanted to perform for himself, he should play with himself on his own time. I thought that line was amazing. He said he had the, and then he said, if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. A small group chanted, you know what? It's 10. Well, I'm also on YouTube, so they said, holy yes, after that. And then Road Dogg asked them to stop. He said, hey, guys, this is a PG show. And then the chant got even bigger, and Road Dogg was like, oh, sorry, made it worse. Sorry, guys, in the back. That was pretty funny. And then Road Dogg and Jeff Jarrett sang With My Baby Tonight as they walked down to the ring. And that was actually amazing and entertaining. Eventually, Elias smashed the guitar over Road Dogg's back as he was singing. Elias attacked Jarrett. Jarrett fought back and actually had a good showing with a bunch of punches, but then Elias punched him low and smashed him with the guitar. The crowd was very hot for this. So, Elias is back heel. That's the main thing. Apparently, Jeff Jarrett might be back, but as a backstage role, so look out for that in the news. So then we had an Elimination Chamber Women's Tag Team Championship qualifying match. Mouthful again. Sarah Logan and Liv Morgan of the Riot Squad defeating Natalya and Dana Brooke. Natalya was supposed to be partnering with Ember Moon, but Ember Moon got injured in the Royal Rumble yesterday, took knees from Bliss, and they did not look they did not look good. It looked like she got injured. So best wishes for Ember Moon. Hopefully she's better soon. That rhymed and I did not try. So anyway. Yeah, I mean, nothing much happened in this. What really happened was Natalya had Morgan in the sharpshooter Dana knocked Ruby off the apron because Ruby was trying to distract. Logan got in the ring and pushed Brooke into Natalya, and then Liv Morgan rolled up Natalya for the win. Riot Squad are in the chamber match, so that's good. So then we had... This is where Ronda came out, and I'll go through this segment a little bit, but I kind of already talked about it at the top of the show. Ronda came out, mixed reaction. She debuted a year ago, and now she stood here as women's champion. The crowd were just flat out booing her. I think the crowd at this point knew that this whole Becky and Ronda storyline was going to start. So I think that's where the mindset has been. She credited Sasha Banks for her performance last night, and then she flubbed the line and she admitted the crowd made her stutter. I thought that was, I think that's good. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, and then she addressed Lynch, but then she said, just kidding, let's do my open challenge. That's where Bayley came out and they had their match. So, yeah. We are going to skip that segment. One note that the Observer has here in these notes, this was a red-hot angle. It felt like a big main event angle and definitely like it should remain a singles match. Yes, please keep Charlotte out of it. Have Charlotte go after Asuka. I've been saying this since Survivor Series. Please. Backstage, Strowman found Rollins, shook his hand, told him he earned it last night and to make the right decision. So then we had Braun Strowman defeat Drew McIntyre via DQ. Now, this match it wasn't anything special. So towards the end of the match, Strowman was going to attack McIntyre with the steel steps, payback from when they quote-unquote broke his arm, all that shattered his elbow, as they like to say. But Corbin showed up and attacked him from behind. And that's where the DQ comes in. Corbin hit him with a chair, but Strowman punched the chair out of his hands, which looked awesome. Tossed him into the steps. Strowman then gave both men running shoulder tackles, and Strowman bounced Corbin's face off the steps. Then McIntyre flew in and nailed him with a Claymore kick. A fan yelled, "Watch out." That's funny. The heels gave Strowman a double choke slam on the steps. This was the fourth segment on the show that ended with a babyface laid out. Cool. Main event time. They were introducing Seth Rollins, much like they did in the beginning of the show. They said, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the 2019 Royal Rumble win. And then, like, in the middle of announcing it, Brock Lesnar's music hit, and him and Heyman came out. Heyman said the concept of tonight was absurd because there was only one choice for Rollins to make. He said that was to face WWE Champion Daniel Bryan. He said they would probably have a great grappling contest, but the last thing Rollins wants is to get in a fight with Lesnar. As Heyman continued, Rollins eventually showed up to go right into Lesnar's face. Lesnar was amused and looked away for a second, then Rollins punched him in the face. Rollins kicked him in the gut a couple of times and went for the curb stomp, but Lesnar grabbed him, hit him with an F5, and then gave him two more, and then one more, and then one more on the belt. 5 F5s, one on the belt. Lesnar was about to leave. Rollins sat up slightly against the bottom rope and yelled at Lesnar, asking him if that's all he had. The copyright logo popped up as Lesnar grabbed Rollins and gave him one more F5 as they went off air. As it's written here, this was a good segment, but it was the 5th segment on the show that ended with the babyface laid out. I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good segment. Now, I don't know if they're going to do this, but Rollins didn't actually say that he was challenging Lesnar. I'm just saying. That's probably what they're doing. I'm 90% sure that's what this segment was setting up. But that's something they'll watch for. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to play with us. They probably are. But Rollins never said that he never declared that he was challenging. But they're definitely setting up the match. They wouldn't do this if they weren't setting up the match. But overall, this was a very good episode of Raw. This was honestly one of the best Raws that I can remember in a long time. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Some of it went by pretty fast. Some of it didn't. But, I mean, overall, I really enjoyed this. We're building to Elimination Chamber. We're building to WrestleMania. I love it. I'm interested to see the ratings. Usually the ratings for this show, the show after the Rumble, is pretty good. So I'm very interested to see that tomorrow. I'll probably talk about that on the SmackDown review. But that's all the time I have for tonight. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Like I said, tomorrow night, SmackDown review, same time, 10 p.m., so that it'll be right after the show. And if you missed any of the show, full episode will be up in an hour or two on YouTube, First Round KO, so you can check that out. But in the meantime, thank you, everyone, for listening, and I will see you tomorrow for the SmackDown review.
She a California living, cognac sipping, choke blowing, candy flipping, sunshine vibe. Flew out for the show, had to pull her out the road. Now she hoping I could change her life, but I think we need to slow it